It is finally Friday, and that means one thing: Friday night lights for the Lakin Bronx football team. Brett and Sandy Hendricks welcome you to LakinSports.com and Lakin Bronx Sports on YouTube for live coverage of Lakin Bronx football. All of the football action is brought to you by the KCB Bank of Lakin and Garden City, the agency of Lakin and Garden City, your full-line insurance agency, Lakin Hay and the Lakin Dairy, Fred Ipsima, Shelter Insurance, Gwen Wechter, East Highway 50, Lakin, Flashbacks Diner, West Highway 50, Lakin, the Golden Plains Credit Union, Life with a Touch of Gold, the Lakin Recreation Commission, Lakin Drug, 610 O'Laughlin, Lakin, Shorty's Cafe, Main Street, Lakin, the Kearney County Economic Development, Ralph Goodnight, Pioneer Communications of Southwest Kansas, Hendricks Welding, Brad Hendricks, and D-Bach Metals of Lakin, player of the game, medal sponsor. It is time now to head to the press box with the longtime voice of the Lakin Bronx, Brett Hendricks, along with Jared Hendricks. Take it away, gentlemen.
And a good Friday evening. Welcome to Lakin Bronx Sports YouTube, LakinSports.com. Brett Hendricks with you. We're on the road tonight as the Bronx gets set to battle the Mustangs of Southwestern Heights in High Plains League and district action. And we're glad you're with us tonight. Our pregame sponsor tonight is the Golden Plains Credit Union.
Refinance your auto loan at Golden Plains Credit Union. You can lower your current auto loan rate by 2% with no payments for up to 90 days. Rates can be as low as 3.25% annual percentage rate. This offer applies to loans financed from another lender. Think of all the money you could be saving every month. This is a limited time offer, so stop by and ask about refinancing your auto loan today. Golden Plains Credit Union. Life with a touch of gold. Member NCUA.
Homecoming night tonight here at Southwestern Heights. And we've still got 30 minutes to go before we tip things off here on Lakin Bronx Sports YouTube and LakinSports.com. We had a chance to talk to the coach as the Bronx prepare for this contest tonight. And our coach's interview brought to you by the great folks at the agency, Lakin and Garden City.
Experience the best in customer service when you call the agency for an insurance quote. The agency can provide insurance coverage to meet your needs. Protect your financial future by calling the agency at 620-355-6789.
And welcome back to Lakin Bronx Sports YouTube, LakinSports.com. Brett Hendricks with you. Thanks for joining us tonight for Bronx football. The Bronx hit the road for a High Plains League and district contest against the Mustangs of Southwestern Heights. We're now joined by Bronx head coach Chris Bamberger. And coach, big bounce back win last week on homecoming. And more importantly, the Bronx improved to 3-1.
Yeah, for sure. I think, anytime you're coming back from a loss, obviously you want to bounce back. Then you add the homecoming into the aspect, and it adds a little bit more juice to the night. And then on top of that, it was kind of a very familiar foe, I guess, with Cimarron, a team that we felt like we've struggled with in the 9 years that I've been here at least. And so, a lot. Obviously, outside of just the Friday Night Lights, a lot on the line, and so I did feel like it felt good to come home with a win on that one.
Last week was a game of big plays, honestly. When you really go back and look at it, score could have been a lot higher. It just seemed like the flags really brought back a lot of big plays. Lakin had some big plays brought back. Cimarron had some plays brought back, but penalties, I'm sure that's probably one of the points of emphasis for you this week.
Yeah, it definitely was, and it was one of those things that we just kept getting ourselves in trouble, and we were struggling to adjust. And that's going to go with any week. Every crew calls things a little bit different, and as players and coaches, we have to find a way to adjust to the game. And I think the biggest thing was our footwork. And we really tried to make a point, obviously, on our feet and getting our feet where they're supposed to be, so we're not reaching as much with our arms. But it definitely makes it hard to get into a rhythm when you feel like there's a lot of penalties in the game.
And like I said, it really wasn't one-sided either. Cimarron had some
Yep.
big plays called back as well. But Of course, I'm a homer, and I worry about the ones that brought back for Lakin. Last week on offense, almost 400 yards in total offense, but Colter Oldham, the workhorse last week, 241 yards. The run game was really solid with him last week, but, 32 carries.
Yeah, I don't know if he's had that many yet this season. It's definitely a load that we feel like he needs to be prepared to take. Obviously, that's not always the plan to give him the ball that many times, but when his number's called, he was ready to respond and handle it.
And one thing about it, with 32 carries, 241 yards, that's just under 8 yards a carry. I'll tell you what, there's any back, and any coach would be pleased from his running game when you're averaging 7 yards a run play, almost 8.
Yeah, and we talk about that a lot as far as we're shooting for 3 and 4. In our offense, we want to be in 3 and 4 and 3rd and short, and if we have to try to convert a 4th and short, depending on the game situation and where we're at on the field. So anytime we get more than that, it's a super bonus for your offense. And I know people talk about being on schedule, off schedule, and that's a big thing for our offense. Meaning that we want to run the ball so much. It's good to be in a second and manageable when we're trying to run the ball like that.
Oh yeah, when you can get 7 yards on first down, the offense is clicking, makes it easier to move the chains, because then you hope you don't have a setback on 2nd short, maybe 3rd and short. But 7 yards a carry, you really can't beat it. And the thing about it is with the running game, Colter was the workhorse last week. Who knows tonight? It might be Ross Ryder, it might be Armando Salcido, and it could be Maddox. Maddox has the 100-yard game so far this year, but that's what I like about this offense right now is it's really mixable, but it's almost at the time you just go with the hot hand.
And and it depends a lot on how teams defend us and what they come out in. And we've been really pleased with the development of all those players that you just listed, and Coach Giroux's ability to try to get the ball to the right guy at the right time. And obviously, Maddox as a quarterback, being able to deal the ball where we want it to be in the offense. And any given night, we never know sometimes what kind of defense we're going to see. So that's a lot of stuff that is adjusted on the fly once the ball's kicked off. So I'm definitely pleased with the way that they handled that so far.
And you mentioned Maddox being able to deal the football. That's something that I've noticed this year. He's a lot better than he's been in the last couple of years. He really has worked on knowing when to pitch, when to keep.
Yeah, and in this offense, we're not full on triple option, but we really try to run a lot of option. The old school option, I guess you could say, from under center, dive, keep, pitch stuff. Everybody's running option nowadays, but it's usually at a gun and zone read and RPO. But that's something that takes a lot of time and a lot of reps, and you just got to practice it, and then you got to get the snaps on Friday. And I definitely feel like he's invested that time, and it's starting to pay off for him.
Well, we're talking about option. Let's go back to the bone. Line him up in the bone one of these nights.
I know. We've actually talked about it, believe it or not.
I'll tell you, we've had a lot of discussions over the years, J.D. Ham and myself. And, I'll tell you what, back in the 70s and whatnot, there was nothing better than the Oklahoma wishbone. And I'll tell you, I don't know why it died. I think it was probably easier to defend when you get to the upper levels, probably. But what an exciting offense that was.
Well, I think you would probably know the crowd that would agree with you, and you would know the crowd that would disagree with you. I think with today's football, obviously, it's so much getting athletes in space, and that's definitely our mentality. But we do bring an old school offense into the game, and it's felt like it fit our kids and year in and year out, and we really enjoy it.
Yeah, us older generation, we cheering you. I'm sure the kids down there, the Gen Zs, so to speak, they'd be like, what the world is that?
Yeah.
They don't even know what the wishbone is. They've
Yeah.
never even heard of it.
It's not a lot of fun to play wide receiver in
No.
those offenses.
Now, you might get a little bit of love as a tight end, but wide receiver, you're just standing out there looking good. Exactly. Defensively last week, started out back and forth like it was going to be a track meet. Cimarron held a 12-6 lead, but I think the defense really settled down after that. Trace Copper, their quarterback, is a score at any moment type of player, but I really thought the defense did a good job. He had his moments, but I think the defense did a good job of limiting his moments.
What a tough kid, man.
Yeah.
You watch him on film, and he does that every week. he takes a lot of shots. He carries the ball a lot, and they have some guys that they've started to share the ball to. But Trace Copper, he is. You can't ever relax in the game because it doesn't matter where he's at on the field. He could take it the distance, and he is definitely speed in the open field. So always a scary thing when you're seeing a kid like that.
And one thing with the defense last week, forced 4 turnovers, got 3 picks.
Yeah, and that's the key is when he gives you an opportunity, you have to take it because you can take the ball. It's a good thing for us.
Injury-wise, the Bronx kind of got beat up last week, and we talked before we went on. Maddox Beltran was one of those prize fighters. He just kept getting up off the mat, and tough kid, but you end up losing Jeremy as well last week, and he will be out tonight. But that was a tough football game last week.
Yeah, and it's physical, and there's a lot of back and forth, and those kids battle, and we've got a couple other bumps and bruises here that kids that are just they're grinding through it, and we're definitely at that point of the season. Believe it or not, we're mid-season at this point, and those things start to show up. Those naggy ankle injuries and things like that. A shoulder here, an elbow there, something like that. Those things they always tend to happen about this time of year, and kids have to play through a lot of it as long as they don't re-injure or something that they can't continue to hurt worse. And we trust our professionals on those calls, but we have some kids that are fighting those things, and we're definitely proud of them for going ahead and hanging in there and keeping back, coming back and snapping the ball and continuing to play through it.
Your opponent tonight, the Southwestern Heights Mustangs. This is the annual battle for the Golden Saddle, but it's a series the Bronx have dominated, winning the last 7, but have won 14 out of the last 15.
Yeah, this is a game that I don't know. It always gets me nervous. This Heights football team, no matter what, I feel like they always come to scrap. They're ready to go, and they always come out here and give us our best game. They're ready to get after it and physical, and I know they have, I think, homecoming tonight, so they're going to have a lot of people in the stands and a lot to play for, and a lot of excitement in the atmosphere. So we fully expect that they're going to come out planning to punch us in the mouth.
District football is going to be a nice night, other than we've got some south wind blowing. It's 90 degrees right now, but once the sun sets, it's going to be a beautiful night for football. As always, Coach, I appreciate you for taking the time to come up and visit with me, and we look forward to talking to you when we're done.
All right, thanks, Brett. Appreciate you.
You bet. Thank you, Coach. That's Bronx head coach Chris. Once again, the Bronx getting set to battle the Southwestern Heights Mustangs here at Southwestern Heights High School. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll continue with our pregame right here on Lakin Bronx Sports YouTube and Lakin Sports.
Some commercials make it really tempting to buy cheap insurance. That's great if price is the only thing that's important to you. The agency believes cost is important, but protection is what you're really paying for. Rely on the agency to build the policy that protects your property at a price you can afford. Call the agency today at 620-355-6789.
Our legal outlook and what's going on around the area is brought to you by Pioneer Communications.
They said this place was too isolated to call home. They said it was too remote to build a community. And then one day, a farmer strung a copper wire from one fence post to another and changed everything. We didn't build the communities of Southwest Kansas. No, we just brought them together.
As Coach Bamberger said in our interview here in our pregame, we're halfway into our season. Bronx 3-1 coming into tonight. The Mustangs 1-3, but here we are in week number 5 of an 8-game regular season, and hard to believe we're halfway through it. Some scores from last week around the High Plains League. Heisington defeated the Southwestern Heights Mustangs by the score of 63-6. Ellis defeated Stanton County 24-6. Syracuse was on a bye. And, of course, our game, Lakin, all over Cimarron by the score of 44-20. In 8-man games last week, Wichita County shutting out St. John 50-0. Meade, a battle of unbeatens. Meade proved to be the tougher unbeaten team. They continue to be unbeaten with a 68-18 drubbing of Sublette, and Elkhart beat Satana by the score of 56-8. Games this week in the High Plains League: Syracuse 0-3 at 1-3 Stanton County, and of course our game tonight, Lakin is 3-1 and the Mustangs are 1-3. In High Plains League 8-man action, Sublette 3-1 at Elkhart, and the Wildcats are 3-1 as well. And in other 8-man action, Wichita County 4-0. They travel to Spearville to battle the Lancers. That's what's going on around the High Plains League and the area, brought to you by Pioneer Communications.
They said this place was too isolated to call home. They said it was too remote to build a community. And then one day, a farmer strung a copper wire from one fence post to another and changed everything. We didn't build the communities of Southwest Kansas. No, we just brought them together.
Red Ripsima established the Lakin Dairy in 1997 and is now a leading producer of high-quality milk for human consumption. The Lakin Dairy is proud to be a big part of the Kearney County economy and community. With fantastic, dedicated, and hard-working employees, the Lakin Dairy prospers in the heart of, as Fred calls it, the Midwest Feed Shed. Always supporting the Lakin High School students, the Lakin Dairy, a verified premium operation, is honored to call Kearney County home at lakindairy.com on the internet.
And here's what's going on at Lakin High School, what's gone on the past week and what is coming up. And for once, my paper is filled to the rim. So a lot of updates and a lot of things going on at Lakin High School this week. This past Saturday, the cross-country team traveled to Stanton County for the Stanton County Invitational. The girls finished in 4th place, led by Emma Miller, who finished 9th, Ivy Davis 19th, Odelia Garcia 26th, Luna Vasquez 27th, Kayleen Turner in 30th, Abby Holmes finished in 31st. Once again, the girls finished 4th last week at Stanton County. The boys, a great showing, finished 2nd. Alex Luce finished 1st, Austin Ritzma finished 2nd, Zael Bermudez finished in 25th, Vicente Davis 28th, Gabe Talks 29th, Eric Munson 31st, and Blake Matthews finished in 34th place. So girls 4th place last week, the boys in 2nd place at Stanton County. Last Saturday, volleyball was at Ulysses for varsity action. They beat Dodge City, beat Hugoton, and beat Cimarron, but lost to Holcomb and Ulysses. Tuesday night, the Lady Bronc volleyball team traveled to Elkhart, where they swept through their competition, beating Sublette, Elkhart, and Stanton County. Girls golf on Tuesday was also at Syracuse. Allie Mead finished 2nd, matching her personal best with an 88. Maya Brown finished just out of the medals, finished 11th with a PR of 107. Cross country was at Canyon City, Colorado yesterday, and the girls finished 8th. Emma Miller pacing the Lady Broncs, finishing 22nd. Ivy Davis 50th. Odelia Garcia 66th. Abby Holmes 88th. Luna Vasquez 103rd. Shalele Kentner 105th. And Kayleen Tanner 110th place. And if you look at those placings, finishing 100, there was probably 150 to 200 runners in each class. So that is one of the biggest meets, I'm going to say in probably the region, but a huge meet. The boys finished 5th. Austin Ritzma finished in 2nd place. Alex Luce finished 10th. Zael Bermudez 60th. Gabe Cox 61st. Justin Leader finished in 67th. Blake Matthews finished in 87th place, and Eric Munson in 102nd place. But the boys with a 2nd place team finish, great showing there. What's really cool about that cross country meet, it's held at the Royal Gorge. The finish is as the kids run across the Royal Gorge Bridge, and what a scenic picture that is for those kids running in that cross country meet. Tomorrow, the Richard Randolph Invitational at the Lakin Golf Course. Volleyball is at the East Scott City Invitation. Monday, JV football hosting Southwestern Heights, and next Thursday, volleyball is at Hugoton. A lot of things going on at Lakin High School as fall sports definitely in high gear. When we come back, we'll look at the keys to the game in our starting lineups.
Fred Ripsimo established the Lakin Dairy in 1997 and is now a leading producer of high-quality milk for human consumption. The Lakin Dairy is proud to be a big part of the Kearney County economy and community. With fantastic, dedicated, and hard-working employees, the Lakin Dairy prospers in the heart of, as Fred calls it, the Midwest Feed Shed. Always supporting the Lakin High School students, the Lakin Dairy, a verified premium operation, is honored to call Kearney County home at lakindairy.com on the internet.
Our keys to the game and starting lineups brought to you by the KCB Bank.
Rural communities are known for their unequaled support of their hometown sports teams. KCB Bank can help you take it to the next level. We now offer Hometown School Pride debit cards, and these cards feature your hometown team mascot so you can show your pride each time you buy something. The best part, they're made right here on site, so there's no waiting for one to come in the mail. Get in touch with us right now and let us help you show your hometown pride. KCB Bank, with 3 locations, Garden City, Lakin, and on the web under your favorite search engine. Member FDIC.
Here's the starting lineup before we worry about keys to the game. Here are the Bronx starting lineup. Wearing number 54 at center, Jayton Hash. At right guard, wearing number 52, Norian Cantu. Wearing number 70 at left guard, taking over for the injured Jeremy Orpiza, is Thomas Peters. Wearing number 72 at right tackle is Eli Bemis. And at left tackle, wearing number 58, is Timmy Johnson. Wearing number 12 at wideout, Drew Patterson. The other wideout, Javian Granado, he wears number 2. At fullback, wearing number 15, Coulter Oldham. Oldham coming off a 241-yard rushing output last week. And the slot backs, wearing number 1, Ross Ryder. And the other slot, wearing number 3, Armando Salcedo. And the quarterback, wearing number 7, is Maddox Beltran. The coaches, Chris Bamberger, Chris Pollard, Travis Johnson, Wyatt Giroux, and Bryce Simon. We look at keys to the game. One thing we talked about with Coach Bamberger in our pregame, and that was the amount of penalties last week in that win over Cimarron. So I'm going to say that was probably an emphasis this week to cut down on the penalties. I'm not going to say unnecessary penalties, but definitely some penalties that they can erase. And like you said, with line play, the linemen need to learn to work with their feet, not just with their hands. And I think that's what caught them last week with the multiple holding penalties that they had. But keys to the game, just cut down on the mistakes, and I think they're going to be fine tonight. Our pregame, our keys to the game and starting lineups brought to you by KCB Bank. We're back after this.
Rural communities are known for their unequaled support of their hometown sports teams. KCB Bank can help you take it to the next level. We now offer Hometown School Pride debit cards, and these cards feature your hometown team mascot so you can show your pride each time you buy something. The best part, they're made right here on site, so there's no waiting for one to come in the mail. Get in touch with us right now and let us help you show your hometown pride. KCB Bank, with 3 locations, Garden City, Lakin, and on the web under your favorite search engine. Member FDIC.
I want to thank our pregame sponsor as well as all of the sponsors we've had during the pregame. Our pregame sponsor was the Golden Plains Credit Union.
Refinance your auto loan at Golden Plains Credit Union. You could lower your current auto loan rate by 2% with no payments for up to 90 days. Rates can be as low as 3.25% annual percentage rate. This offer applies to loans financed from another lender. Think of all the money you could be saving every month. This is a limited time offer, so stop by and ask about refinancing your auto loan today. Golden Plains Credit Union. Life with a touch of gold. Member NCUA.
That's not bad, really. And the national anthem performed by the Southwestern Heights Pep Band. Captains going to the middle of the field, Maddox Beltran, Javian Granado, Jayton Hash, and Jeremy Orpiza. Bronx in the road white uniforms tonight, purple letters and numbers trimmed in gold with the purple pants. Southwestern Heights in the all black with the red letters and numbers. Before we get things started, I want to send a shout out to the Ryder and Panzer families in Manhattan. Glad they're going to be joining us here tonight. Sadly, they can't be with us, but they've got a big occasion happening tomorrow, and we want to congratulate Ryan and Hadley on their upcoming wedding tomorrow afternoon in Manhattan. Congratulations to both of you, and a shout out to all the families. Have a safe but a fun weekend. Southwestern Heights has won the toss, and they will receive. The Bronx will kick and defend this south goal to our left. Our first quarter tonight brought to you by the Lakin Drug, East Highway 50 in Lakin. At Lakin Drug, their mission is simple. They strive to provide professional pharmacy services with hometown hospitality. Lakin Drug's experienced staff leads with compassion and utilizes modern technology to fit all of your individual needs. Whether it's prescription medications or over-the-counter products, Lakin Drug has the answer to all of your questions. Lakin Drug at 610 O'Loughlin Street in Lakin is a proud supporter of the community of Lakin and Lakin schools. And we're set to kick. The Bronx kicking to begin the ball game. Bronx in the white road uniforms going from our left to our right in this opening quarter. The Bronx 3-1, the Mustangs 1-3. I want to thank our cameraman tonight, Tanner Tarpley. Armando Salcido teeing it up for the Bronx. And Southwestern Heights with the sun still in our eyes for probably about the next 20 minutes. I do not have a number of the return guys, so we'll get them as soon as we can. High end over end kick, fielded about the 5-yard line. And brought down by Ross Ryder, Maddox Beltran down there along with Thomas Peters. So 1st and 10 for the Mustangs at their own 17-yard line. I believe on that return was Martin Garcia or Brian Ramirez. It was a 1 or a 7. I really couldn't tell. Like I said, we're going to struggle to see those numbers on those black uniforms. Quarterback under center for the Mustangs. Bronx with a 4-man front. Give to the first back through off the right side and stacked up on the edge by Maddox Beltran. And that was Brian Ramirez on the carry. Gain of about 3 yards on the play is going to bring up 2nd down and 7. Mustangs send 2 split to the right side and 2 to the near side. From the gun, quarterback cuts in and will be brought down by Oldham, but not before he picks up the 1st down. The quarterback is Omar Mercado. So 1st down Mustangs on their first possession here this evening. Yeah, here in another 20 minutes, like I said, we'll get this sun out of our eyes and we're going to have a nice evening for football. Mercado under center. Mustangs in the eye. Give to the first man through, the fullback. He's wrapped up by Javian Granado. Oldham and Norian Cantu in on the stop. Gain of maybe 1 on the play. Brings up 2nd down and 9 for the Mustangs. Just underway, first quarter. Brett Hendricks with you. Glad you're joining me here this evening. Mercado from the gun. And he'll keep it. Try to reverse the field back to the near side. He's going to gain maybe a couple, but that's going to be it. Ross Ryder in on the stop. Javian Granado out of the pile once again. Gain of about 2 yards on the play. I had 2nd and 1 there. I meant 2nd and 9. So a gain of 2 on the play. Mustangs with the 3rd and 7 from their 35-yard line. Mercado once again from the gun. And the give is up the middle. Granado in on the stop once again. No, that's Norian Cantu in on the stop. And the Southwestern Heights player is down. So a timeout on the field. Javier Jaquez gets up and runs off the field, so a good sign for the Mustangs. But with it being warm here, it gives the players a chance to get a quick drink. Got to stay hydrated in this type of weather. So 4th and 3 for the Mustangs at their 39-yard line. And looks like they're going to go for it. 4th and 3 from their 39. Mercado from the gun. Straight keeper, brings it to the near side and is knocked out of bounds by Maddox Beltran. So the Mustangs going for it early here in this first quarter in their own territory. But Mercado got out to midfield. Well, actually to the Mustang 47, almost 48-yard line. 1st and 10. Mercado under center in the power I. Tripped up across midfield was Brian Ramirez. Ramirez gained about 4 yards on the play. He's going to bring up 2nd down and 6. Mustangs now in Bronx territory at their 40, just inside the 49 now. Looks like the 48-yard line. And I forgot to start the clock again. I hit the button, but sometimes the mouse don't work. So we'll catch up. Give Brian Ramirez near side. Forced out of bounds by Timmy Johnson. Not before he gains 3 yards. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 3. And I thought I'd left the clock running, but we'll run it down. 8:03 with the clock stopped on the out-of-bounds play. We'll run it down. 3rd and 3 for the Mustangs. Ramirez once again up the gut, fighting through the initial tackler, gets across the 40-yard line, and has enough for another Mustang 1st down. First and 10 Mustangs in Bronx territory at the 38. Brian Ramirez, nothing doing on the right side that time. Norian Cantu in on the stop. Ross Ryder and Eli Bemis in there as well. No gain on the play, brings up 2nd down and 10. maybe a short loss on the play. We'll keep it at 2nd and 10. Ramirez up the gut once again. Orpiza able to wrap up the feet. Short gain back to the original line of scrimmage. 3rd and 10 for the Mustangs at the Bronx 39-yard line. Opening possession. Homecoming night tonight here at Southwestern Heights. And like I said, here in about another 10 minutes or so, that sun should be down behind the school. We do have a penalty on the play. Mustang player jumped, Bronx players jumped. Let's see who went first. And they're going to say Lakin jumped off first. So 3rd down and 5 after the 5-yard penalty. So instead of 3rd and long, 3rd and manageable with a 3rd and 5. Mercado from the gun. On the initial stop was Eli Bemis, for he had help. Blair Jones into help. And it's going to be no gain on the play. 4th and 5 for the Mustangs from the Bronx 34-yard line. Defense had him cooped in for a loss, but able to squirt back to the line of scrimmage. Mustangs in punt formation. No, they're in the I formation. Quarterback under center. Back to throw, throwing into that stiff wind. It is picked up by Blair Jones on the far side, and you'll take it out to near midfield. So Blair Jones with the pick. And on 4th down, the Bronx are in great field position just at midfield. First and 10, Bronx right at midfield. Give up the middle. Oldham tripped up. No gain on the play. Coulter, 32 carries last week. 241 yards on the ground. Nothing doing on his first carry of this contest. Ryder comes over towards the sideline, gets the play from assistant coach Wyatt Giroux. Once again, I want to thank Tanner Tarpley on our camera tonight. Fake up the middle, pitch near side to Salcido. He's across the 40, cuts back in, tripped up at the 30-yard line. A gain of 20 on the play for Salcido. Out blocking in front was Ross Ryder. So a 1st down for the Bronx. Driving on their first possession. 1st and 10 at the Mustang 30-yard line. Bronx receiver split both sides. Give is to Oldham off the left side. He's going to get 5 yards on the play. Tripped up by Javier Jaquez. Going to be a gain of 5. Brings up 2nd down and 5. Fast first quarter, 3:40 to go in this first period. Last week, the first period took 42 minutes. But we've only had one flag thrown so far tonight in this one. Oldham off the left side. He's inside the 20, just shy of the 10-yard line, but 1st and 10 for the Bronx. Looks like they're going to place it at the Mustang 11-yard line. So the Bronx after the Blair Jones interception, looking to draw first blood. Orpeza split to the near side. Give us to Oldham. He dropped the football, but I think he was able to pick it back up. Hey, we got water. We got sprinklers on. On the south end of the field, we've got sprinklers going. And nobody notices it. Nobody on the field notices the sprinklers on the sideline. There they go down. That's crazy. They would come on and nobody really cared. And we've got a timeout on the field. 2:11 to go in our first quarter. Bronx with the timeout. We'll take one as well. Our first quarter brought to you by Lakin Drug. At Lakin Drug, their mission is simple. They strive to provide professional pharmacy services with hometown hospitality. Lakin Drug's experienced staff leads with compassion and utilizes modern technology to fit all of your individual needs. Whether it's prescription medications or over-the-counter products, Lakin Drug has the answer to all of your questions. Lakin Drug at 610 O'Loughlin Street in Lakin is a proud supporter of the community of Lakin and Lakin schools. Bronx with the timeout. $2:11 to go in our first quarter. Second down and 12 for the Bronx. I don't know where I come up with 5, but second and 12 from the Mustang 13-yard line. Beltram with the pitch. Salcido cuts in the defender and zigs and zags into the end zone for the score. So the Bronx on the board first with 2:03 remaining in the first quarter. On a Armando Salcido 13-yard run. Bronx will go for 2. Stiff wind out of the south. Bronx with the wind at their back in this first quarter. Tight formation. Beltran under center, give us to Oldham. And he walks in on the right side. And with 2:03 remaining in our first quarter, the Bronx on top of the Mustangs, 8-0. Oops. Mark those points on the wrong side. Don't want to do that. Changed up the order today. Of course, usually on TV, the home team's on the right of the scoreboard, visitors on the left, so I changed it up from last week. Hell, got it now. We're good. Good luck to the cross-country teams tomorrow at the Rich Randolph Lakin Invitational. Rich Randolph was a longtime coach and teacher in the Lakin schools, and a Hall of Fame inductee with the inaugural class of the Lakin Athletics Hall of Fame. Volleyball team at Scott City, good luck to them tomorrow. I believe that begins at 9 o'clock tomorrow. And in about 5 minutes, the sun will be out of our eyes. Armando Salcido ready to kick. Back to receive Julius Trejo and Brian Ramirez. And it's kicked out of the end zone. Mustangs will have it 1st and 10 from their 20. Kind of hard to believe that we're already halfway through this regular season. Bronx come out in the gun. Twins right and left. Ramirez keeps it around the right end. Oldham chasing down the play. Armando Salcido chasing him down. Second down and 10 for the Mustangs at their 20-yard line. Minute and a half to go in this first quarter. Mercado under center. And stacked up, Ross Ryder there, along with Jayden Hash. Got just across the line of scrimmage. Going to bring up 3rd down and 9 for the Mustangs. 60 seconds left in our opening quarter. Well, thank everybody for joining me here tonight. That should have been an illegal procedure, I think, because their tackle got up and reset himself. Lakin's going to call timeout. With 31 seconds to go, what they're going to do is they're going to make them punt into the wind. That's what they're going to do because they could have let the clock run out. They're going to make Southwestern Heights punt into the wind. No gain on the play. He's going to bring up 4th down and 9. Lakin's second timeout taken. If you're just joining us, Bronx struck on their first possession, a 13-yard run by Armando Salcido, set up by a Blair Jones interception. So 4th and 9 for the Mustangs from their 21-yard line. Wind's been out of the south about 20, maybe 25 miles an hour. High end over end kick. It's going to take a Southwestern Heights bounce and be down at the Bronx 43-yard line. So with the end over end back spinning kick actually took a forward bounce for the Mustangs, and the Bronx will start over. They'll start in their own territory. .24 seconds to go in our opening quarter. Bronx with their second possession. Beltran under center. looking to throw, lofts it up. Ross Ryder with the catch. He's at the 20, the 10, and scores. 58-yard touchdown pass from Maddox Beltran to Ross Ryder. Beltran on the keeper, and will come up short on the 2-point conversion. Did get a correction, and I do have to apologize and correct my notes. Tomorrow is the Lakin Invitational Golf Tournament. Rich Randolph Invitational is next week at the Lakin Golf Course. So thank you for correcting me. I always have to have somebody watching me. But I do appreciate it. Thank you very much. And sorry I'm giving out false information. But best of luck to the Lady Bronc golfers tomorrow, Allie Mead and Maya Brown in the Lakin Invitational tomorrow. But I am right on volleyball. They are at Scott City tomorrow. So cross-country fans, wait till next week. You know, and that would be wise. You know, they just ran in Colorado yesterday. So, yeah, they need a couple days off anyway. So with 14 seconds to go in the first quarter, Bronx extend their lead to 14-0. And with the kick to come. So the strategy for Coach Bamberger using that second timeout, making Southwestern Heights punt in the wind, and then electing to air it out. Great choice. Salcido to kick. Line drive, and it's into the end zone for a touchback. Mustangs take over 1st and 10 from their 20-yard line. 14 seconds remaining in our first quarter. First quarter's been brought to you by Lakin Drug. And the sun is finally down behind the press box. It's going to be a beautiful night now. If the wind would just go down, I don't mind a little breeze. But you can already tell the temperature difference, just the sun behind the press box. 1st and 10 Mustangs from the gun. Countering to the near side, tripped up by Drew Patterson, finished off by Ross Ryder and Timmy Johnson. And that's the end of our first quarter. It'll be 2nd and 3 when we return. Our first quarter brought to you by Lakin Drug. At Lakin Drug, their mission is simple. They strive to provide professional pharmacy services with hometown hospitality. Lakin Drug's experienced staff leads with compassion and utilizes modern technology to fit all of your individual needs. Whether it's prescription medications or over-the-counter products, Lakin Drug has the answer to all of your questions. Lakin Drug at 610 O'Loughlin Street in Lakin is a proud supporter of the community of Lakin and Lakin schools. Our second quarter brought to you by Flashbacks Diner.
Flashback to the days of Bebop and Bobby Socks at Flashbacks Diner, Highway 50, Lakin. Fantastic burgers, Coney and Chicago hot dogs, Philly, steak, BLT, and chicken sandwiches, along with ice cream treats like the traditional banana split, sundaes, shakes, malts, and cones. Dine in or carry out. Flashback to the days of Bebop and Bobby Socks at the one and only fantastic Flashbacks Diner Highway 50 Lakin.
2nd and 3 Mustangs from their 27-yard line as we start the second quarter. Bronx on top, 14-0. Give off the left side. And looks like it's going to be enough for the first down. On the carry was Brian Ramirez. First and 10 Mustangs. From the gun. Blair Jones on the stop along with Ross Ryder on the far side. Didn't catch a number for Southwestern Heights, but I do think it was Brian Ramirez. Gain of 2 on the play brings up 2nd down and 8. In motion, fake. Mercado follows the lead back through the left side. He's going to get a yard, maybe 2. Timmy Johnson and Norian Cantu on the stop. Gain of 4 yards on the play. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 4 for the Mustangs from their 39-yard line. Give up the middle, and it depends on where they spot it. We'll see if Ramirez has the first down. And they're going to say he has enough for the first down. It was going to be close. The 1st and 10 Mustangs from their 43-yard line. Fake from the gun. And this time the Bronx are going to corral Mercado in the backfield. Good inside penetration. Oldham in there. Granado in there. Ross Ryder in there as well. Going to be a loss of 2 yards on the play. Brings up 2nd down and 12. Mercado under center. Ramirez the lone back. And the Bronx, I think, are going to be called for an offsides. Wait and see. And it will be. Bring up 2nd down and 7 after 5 yards are marked off. Ramirez with the handoff. He slipped when he took off. Able to take the handoff. Gain of maybe 2. It's going to be 3rd and a long 5, short 6. We'll just go ahead and call it 3rd and 5 from the Mustang 47-yard line. Take up the middle. Mercado this way. And Beltran will wrap him up for a loss. Loss is going to be back to the 44-yard line. So a loss of 3. And that brings up a 4th and 9 for the Mustangs. They went for it on their first possession at around their 40-yard line. They're at the 44-yard line. We'll see what they do here, and looks like they're going to go for it. Twins right and left. Mercado from the gun. Ball is in the air. We have a flag on the opposite side. Ball knocked down by Maddox Beltran, but there is a flag on the far sideline. And the way, well, I didn't see an indication, but they're moving the sticks, so it was against the Mustangs. So the Broncs take over in great field position. From the Mustang 43-yard line. Beltran with the pitch, low, but Ryder has it. Good block out in front by Salcido. Ryder across the 30. He'll get to the 25-yard line before he's forced out of bounds by Mercado and Julius Trejo. The first down Broncs at the 25-yard line. Clock stopped on the out-of-bounds play. Salcido in motion and got the defense to move. So a 5-yard penalty will give the Broncs 1st and 5. So it's 1st and 5 from the Mustang 20. Broncs have scored on both of their first two possessions. And driving here. And I think the Broncs are going to give those 5 yards back. I think the Broncs were in motion. Yep. Saw a lineman that shot out way in front of the play. So back to 1st and 10. Fake to Oldham, and the pitch to Salcido. He's out around the end, and we'll get inside the Mustang 10-yard line. Great ball fake, and Colter Oldham played it out perfectly. Will be 1st and goal Broncs from the Mustang 9-yard line. And I thought it was an out-of-bounds play. Clock is running. We'll catch it up here. 6:45 to go in our first half. Broncs driving. Drew Patterson, the lone receiver to the near side. Ross Ryder with the carry. Knocking over his own player into the end zone. And a 9-yard touchdown for Ross Ryder. Broncs will go for 2. Patterson split to the right side. Give this to Oldham. And he's in for the 2-point conversion. 6:35 remaining in our first half. It's all Broncs as they lead it 22-0. We're going to take a timeout. Our second quarter brought to you by Flashbacks Diner.
Flashback to the days of Bebop and Bobby Socks at Flashback's Diner, Highway 50, Lakin. Fantastic burgers, Coney and Chicago hot dogs, Philly, steak, BLT, and chicken sandwiches, along with ice cream treats like the traditional banana split, sundaes, shakes, malts, and cones. Dine in or carry out. Flashback to the days of Bebop and Bobby Socks at the one and only fantastic Flashback's Diner, Highway 50, Lakin.
3 possessions, 3 scores for the Bronx as they lead at 22-0. Brett Hendricks with you, along with cameraman Tanner Tarpley. Bronx 3-1 coming into tonight, looking to improve to 4-1, and looks like they're well on their way. Bronx have won 7 straight in this rivalry. They've won 14 out of the last 15. In this rivalry, the battle for the Golden Saddle. Salcido set to kick for the Bronx, kicking into that southeast wind. I think the wind's supposed to be blowing again tomorrow. Then starting Monday, looks like 70s for next week. May get to a fall pattern after all. I mean, hey, next week it is going to be October, so. Salcido to kick. On the ground. Ball is loose. And recovered by the Mustangs. 1st and 10 Mustangs from there, looks like about the 29, let's see where the place is, 28-yard line. Mercado under center. Give is to Brian Ramirez. And Ross Ryder right there. Coulter Oldham in there as well. Norian Cantu. White shirts just storming to the football. No gain on the play. 2nd down and 10 from the 29-yard line. Bronx return home next week when they host the Hoisington Cardinals. Mercado from the gun. Met head on by Coulter Oldham. Tell you what, that is the textbook way to tackle. You just put your face mask in their chest, wrap them up, and take them. And you just don't see that a whole lot anymore, but that was just perfect. Square up with him, wrap him up. So 3rd and 10 for the Mustangs. No gain on that play from their 29-yard line. Mercado from the gun. Ramirez the lone back. Fakes to Ramirez. Now will tuck it. And he's brought down by Norian Cantu. There is a flag on the other side. We'll wait and see what the call is. And they're going to wave it off. So that'll bring up 4th down for the Mustangs. A gain of maybe 1 on the play. Going to bring up 4th and 9. No, the sticks need to move. It's not 4th and 9. And a timeout on the field called by the Mustangs. So I'll reset our down and distance. It is 3rd and 5. The sticks never moved. And I guess I shouldn't rely on the sticks all the time, but I guess that's why they're there. So timeout Mustangs, their first of the half. The Bronx have used 2. They used them in the first quarter and used them wisely. The second one made Southwestern Heights punt into the wind. And with 14 seconds to go in the game, in the first quarter, Ross Ryder with a 57-yard pass from Maddox Beltran. I thank everybody for joining me tonight. Glad to be bringing you Bronc football on this Friday night. .505 remaining in the first half. If you're just joining us, the Broncs have scored on all three of their first half possessions. And to start the second half, they will get the football to start the second half as well. Fourth and 5, Mustangs have been gamblers in this first half. They're going to go for it again. The third time this first half, that they've gone for it, fourth down in their own territory. From the gun, pass to the far side, falls incomplete. In at quarterback that time was Manny Mendoza. And the Broncs will take over 1st and 10 from the Mustang 33-yard line. So another short field for the Bronc offense. Broncs send two receivers to the right side. Renato split wide. Patterson in the slot. Give is to Oldham. Looking for room around the right side. Makes the edge. Gets across the 30. Going to gain 5 on the play. Brings up 2nd down and 5. Patterson, the lone receiver, to the near side. Ryder in motion. The give is to Oldham. Up the middle, across the 20. Inside the 15, down to about the 12-yard line. First and 10 Broncs. From the Mustang 11-yard line, so the Broncs can get a first down without getting into the end zone. Maddox under center. A give is to Coulter. Tell you what, after that fake they pulled earlier in their last possession, that one I couldn't tell if Coulter had that football. Going to gain about, looks like just a yard. It'll be 2nd down and 9. Clock running, under 3.5 to go in our first half. Give to Oldham off the left side. He's inside the 5. It's going to be short of the first down. It'll be 3rd down and probably 1. I can't tell from this angle. Yeah, maybe 2. Broncs line up in a tight formation. 3rd and 2 from the Mustang 3-yard line. Give us to Oldham once again. And he's in for the touchdown. So 3-yard touchdown run for Coulter Oldham. Bronx line up for two. Ryder was in motion. Beltran rolls to the right side and complete to Oldham into the end zone for two. And with 2:27 to go in our first half, the Bronx now lead at 30-0 as the cheerleaders lead the crowd in the school song. .227 to go in the first half. Salcido set to kick. Brian Ramirez, one of the backs, returners back to get this kick. Another low line drive on the ground. And recovered by the Mustangs. They'll have it 1st and 10 from their 30-yard line. First and 10 Mustangs from their 30-yard line. Give is to Ramirez. Bounces it outside, still on his feet across the 35 before he's brought down at about the 37-yard line. Going to be a 7-yard pickup, 2nd down and 3 for the Mustangs. Timmy Johnson in on the stop for the Bronx. Mustangs bring 2 receivers to the near side. Give is to Ramirez, and he's got a wedge. Going to have enough for the first down, brought down by Alex Robles. Good job of blocking out in front by the Mustangs. And man, I tell you what, they don't take any time rolling the clock. I had it stopped to reset the chains, and they basically placed the football and said, hey, chains, hurry up, I guess. I don't know. It's okay with me. That's going to speed it up. First down Mustangs at their 45-yard line. Just over a minute to play in the first half. Mercado fakes. Pass to the near side. Intended for Dresden Zimmerman. Falls incomplete. 2nd down and 10. Also want to send a shout out to J.D. Ham. And I can never say it enough, and sounds like a broken record, but it wouldn't be Lakin's Bronx Sports YouTube, lakinsports.com without JD. Thank him for all he does for us here on Lakin Bronx Sports YouTube, lakinsports.com. 2nd and 10 Mustangs from their 45. Mercado. Oh, and the Bronx let him get away up the near side. He's going to be pushed out at about the 1-yard line. Looked like they might have had him bottled up after a couple-yard gain, but on that carry was Dresden Zimmerman. I believe it was. No, that was Javier Jacquez. So first and goal for the Mustangs. First and goal. Give is to Ramirez off the left side, and they're going to say he is in for the touchdown. So with 46 seconds to go in the first half, the Mustangs finally get on the board with a 1-yard Brian Ramirez run. And we'll go for 2. And Mercado is in for the 2-point conversion. 46 seconds to go in our first half. Bronx still in front by the score of 30-8. Second quarter sponsor Flashbacks Diner. At the half, we'll recap the scoring. Didn't line up an interview, but find somebody maybe. Put names in a hat. Might just talk to Tanner Tarpley here. What do you think?
I'm okay with that.
You're okay with that?
Yes, sir.
Usually, I turn that microphone up and it's just clam city, man. It clams up. Nobody wants to talk. So you have no trouble talking.
No.
Okay. Chris Davis is over there. He says no. He's shaking his head. Oh, Tanner running our camera tonight, and unfortunately, the reason he's up here is out with a knee injury right now, and you're going to go get it checked out next week. So hopefully everything checks out fine. And I can imagine it's tough for you to have to be up here with me when you'd rather be down there. But I do appreciate your help, though. High short kick. Fielded by Timmy Johnson. And the Bronx will have decent starting field position from their 42-yard line with 44 seconds to go. We'll see if the Bronx want to gamble a little bit. Stiff wind still in their face from the south-southeast. But the Bronx have had no trouble their last 2 possessions into the wind scoring. But it definitely will be harder to score, or harder to put the ball in the air with this wind. Bronx from the gun. The give is to Salcido. He's got an opening around the right side. He's across midfield looking to cut it back up, and he'll finally be brought down inside the Mustang 30-yard line. So a nice pitch there. The Bronx changing it up, going to the gun. And the Bronx in Mustang territory at the, they're going to say, scoreboard says 41, but they're at the 26-yard line. And must have been an out-of-bounds play. I didn't see it was. It's close to the sideline, but the clock is stopped with 33 seconds to go. Bronx send Drew Patterson to the near side. Orpeza shorter on the other side. Beltran fires. And it's Drew Patterson with the touchdown. In traffic, Drew Patterson rips it away from the defender. A 36-yard touchdown pass from Maddox Beltran. So the Bronx in 20, well, they didn't even, with 44 seconds when they started their first play of this drive, they've scored in 20 seconds into a stiff wind. Try for two. Pass is complete to Colter Oldham. So just like that, the Bronx jump back out to a 30-point lead. With 24 seconds remaining in our first half. It's now Bronx 38, Mustangs 8. Bronx have scored on every possession tonight. Beautiful sunset off to the west. Got a text and noticing on their monitor had a little purple tint to it. So hey, only fitting with the big Bronx first half here. Only fitting that the sunset would have a little purple tint to it. Appreciate the text messages. At least let me know that somebody at least watching. First and 10 Mustangs with 18 seconds to go in the first half from their 29-yard line. Mercado under center. Give is to Ramirez. Ramirez looking for space off the left side. Will be forced out of bounds. Gain of about 4 yards on the play brings up second down and 6. 12 seconds remaining. Getting a crackle in the, there we go, maybe I've just got to move a wire. Second and 6 from the Mustang 33-yard line. Dish once again, Ramirez tripped up on the far side. Timmy Johnson in on the play. Ross Ryder there as well. And a timeout. Well, the clock says zeros. So they're going to give Southwestern Heights the timeout. I'll keep it with a second to go on my clock. And got a text. Wind's blowing here out of the southeast, probably 20 to 25 at Lakin. The wind is blowing 4 miles out of the north. That figures. I don't know if that's part of the front that's coming in later in the weekend because it's still supposed to be warm tomorrow. So I don't know if it's front moving in quite yet, but it's going to be nice next week. Temperature in the 70s. Got a little chance of rain on Monday. I hope it's right. The one thing about it, I kind of know, I can sense the cold weather might be coming because I saw a lot of monarch butterflies flying south in the last couple of days. Usually that's a sign as they migrate south. They actually put 2 seconds back on the clock, so third down and 5 for the Mustangs with 2 seconds remaining in our first half. Run to the left side. And that'll end our first half. Our second quarter brought to you by Flashbacks Diner. We'll be back with our halftime show right after this.
Flashback to the days of Bebop and Bobby Socks at Flashbacks Diner, Highway 50, Lakin. Fantastic burgers, Coney and Chicago hot dogs, Philly, steak, BLT, and chicken sandwiches, along with ice cream treats like the traditional banana split, sundaes, shakes, malts, and cones. Dine in or carry out. Flashback to the days of Bebop and Bobby Socks at the one and only fantastic Flashbacks Diner, Highway 50, Lakin.
Our halftime sponsor tonight, one of the new sponsors here on Lakin Bronx Sports YouTube, Matthew Medill, CPA, Main Street, Lakin. So we welcome him aboard. With all of your financial questions, accounting questions, give Matt a call. You get the experience of a large firm with personal attention. So thank you, Matthew Medill. Appreciate it. I know they're usually watching from home. And I appreciate him on board with us. Halftime thoughts and recap brought to you by the Lakin Rec Commission. We're back after this.
The Lakin Recreation Commission has a full fitness room with 5 treadmills, tread climber, rowing machine, 3 elliptical fitness cross trainers, 2 stationary bikes, and strength training fitness equipment. You'll find just what you need for your own quality workout. The fitness room is open for the public's use free of charge during business hours. For use after business hours, Lakin Rec also has a keyless entry system available. The Lakin Rec Commission, always involved with the youth of Lakin, 702 North Campbell, Lakin, 355-7039. The benefits are endless.
We're at the half. The Bronx on top of the Mustangs, 38-8. Brett Hendricks with you. Once again, I thank everybody for joining us here tonight. And as always, I thank the great sponsors and supporters that help make what I do easy. In our 17th year broadcasting Lakin High School sports. Look at the scoring. Bronx got it started. Armando Salcido with 2:03 remaining in the first scored on a 13-yard run. Coulter Oldham added the 2-point conversion, and the Bronx led at 8-0. Still in the first quarter, with 14 seconds remaining in the first, Ross Ryder a 57-yard pass from Maddox Beltran, and the run failed, and the Bronx were on top 14-0. 6:35 to go in the second quarter. Ross Ryder with a 9-yard run. And the 2-point conversion was good. And the Bronx led at 22-0. Then the Bronx made it 30-0 with 2:27 to go in the first half on a 3-yard Coulter Oldham run. And the pass to Oldham was good, and they led 30-0. 46 seconds to go in the half. Mustangs finally got on the board on a Brian Ramirez 1-yard run, and the 2-point conversion was good, cutting the Bronx lead to 30-8. And with 24 seconds to go in the half, Drew Patterson a 26-yard pass from Maddox, and the 2-point conversion pass to Oldham was good, and that's where we stand, 38-8 here at the half. Our thoughts and recap brought to you by the Lakin Rec Commission. Lakin Rec Commission football games going on tomorrow morning on the turf in Lakin. And I think I forgot who they play. I think 5th and 6th is Cimarron. I think 3rd and 4th grade, I believe, is Ulysses. So home football games tomorrow. There is a middle school volleyball tournament at the Lakin Middle School gym as well. So almost seems like never an off day with Lakin, not just high school, but Lakin schools, Lakin athletics in general. And tomorrow the Lakin Invitational Golf Tournament. Good luck to Allie and Maya tomorrow. And I'll reset our clock now. For some reason, I can't ever get it set to 15. I try to set it manually, doesn't work, so I just kind of wait till it rolls at 12 minutes, and then I try to hit it from there. So I need to do a lot better job of trying to line up an interview at halftime. You know what we're going to do? We're going to take a timeout, and I mentioned J.D. Ham earlier. I want to thank him for everything he does. But we're going to put together a laundry list of all the sponsors and everybody that helps us here on Lake and Bronx Sports YouTube. We're going to go to that just to save you from having to listen to me yap. So we'll be back.
LakinSports.com could not bring you Lakin High Sports without the continued support of our great sponsors. Thanks to these great businesses: the KCB Bank of Lakin and Garden City, the Agency of Lakin and Garden City, your full-line insurance agency, Lakin Hay and the Lakin Dairy, Fred Ripsima, Shelter Insurance, Gwen Wechter, East Highway 50, Lakin, Flashbacks Diner, West Highway 50, Lakin, the Golden Plains Credit Union, Life with a Touch of Gold, the Lakin Recreation Commission, Lakin Drug, 610 O'Laughlin, Lakin, Shorty's Cafe, Main Street, Lakin, the Kearney County Economic Development, Ralph Goodnight, Pioneer Communications of Southwest Kansas, Hendricks Welding, Brad Hendricks, and D-Bach Metals of Lakin, Player of the Game medal sponsor. Again, thank you, sponsors. Please let them know you appreciate what they do. Now, back we go with the voice of Lakin High Sports, Brett Hendricks.
We're back at the half here on Lake and Bronx Sports YouTube, LakinSports.com. 8:40 to go in our halftime. School classifications came out this week in the state of Kansas, and the Bronx will stay 2A in football, and will stay 3A in basketball, volleyball, well, just basically all of the non-football activities. Lakin will remain in 3A. Sub-state volleyball will be held in Hoisington this year, and I think 3A regional cross-country will be at Goodland, I think. Or maybe it's regional golf. I'll have to check on that. I'm not positive. But Keisha coming out with the fall sites for fall postseason activities. Once again, I want to thank Tanner Tarpley on our camera, and you can see him on the camera reloading the water for the Bronx sideline as well. Wearing multiple hats tonight. Really a beautiful night for football now here at Southwestern Heights. Wind still out of the southeast, but it's bearable. It's tolerable. .3A regional cross country. Actually, Lakin going to Great Bend High School is hosting it, so they are going to Lake Barton Golf Course to run. So they'll be traveling to Great Bend to run. And then that answers my question, I think, about girls golf. I think that maybe that's a good look. Look it up here real quick. And it is Goodland. That will be held on the 9th of October. So once again, golf in Goodland Regional, 9th of October. Lady Bronx at their home invitational tomorrow. Good luck to Allie and Maya. And Lady Bronx volleyball team at Scott City as well. Want to send a shout out to the folks at Shorty's Cafe. They've got us on in the restaurant. Well, actually, the restaurant is closed down now, 8:14, but on game nights, they've got us on the big screen. Home game nights, the club is open for everybody to go down afterwards and talk about the game. So I want to thank Eric Escabel and Shorty's Cafe. Unofficially, I call it the home of the Corey Burger, but, hey. Bronx football back home next week. Take on the Hoisington Cardinals. Actually be home for the next 2 weeks. Home to Hoisington next week, and then we'll stay home the following week for Colby. And I believe, looking back through the history of Lakin High School football, the first ever trip for Hoisington to Lakin. Lakin's played there on a couple of occasions, usually in by-district play. Of course, last year in the district rounds. Once again, want to send a shout out to the Ryder and Panzer families watching in Manhattan. Congratulations to Ryan Ryder and Hadley Panzer on their wedding tomorrow afternoon. Congratulations to both of you. We're going to take another time out. I want to thank all the great sponsors once again to make Lakin Bronx Sports YouTube possible. We're back after this.
It's time to get involved with the Lakin Recreation Commission, 702 North Campbell in Lakin. The Lakin Rec Commission with Wellness Center, aerobics, adult programs, youth programs, sewing, and more. For more information about all the great activities of the Lakin Rec Commission, call 620-355-7039. The Lakin Recreation Commission, providing recreational opportunities to enhance the quality of life for the people of the community by promoting social interaction and the productive use of leisure time.
Southwestern Heights Mustang Band entertaining the folks on the other side. Actually not doing too bad of a job, what we can hear from here. Teams are making their way back to the field, seeing them walking out of the high school. I want to thank Matt Skripsik, the AD at Southwestern Heights High School. Always thanking for the hospitality. They've got a great press box here on the visitor side. Got enough room for me and a camera and other coaches on the other side of it. So, great press box. Mustangs back to the field. Bronx set to follow. Clock has been reset. Right at 2 minutes. By the time I get it run down, it'll be too late. I can catch up. $1:34 to go in our halftime. I want to thank Matthew Medill, CPA, Lakin, our halftime sponsor tonight. Our third quarter sponsored Shelter Insurance, the big red, white, and blue shelter sign, East Highway 50, Lakin.
A lot of action on the street today, huh, Willie?
Yep. Oh, check out the German V8.
Good car.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Ooh, 64 dream car.
At Shelter Insurance, we insure all your favorite rides.
Oh, classic convertible.
And have since 1946.
Sweet pickup. Hiya, Muggsy.
Yo.
From Hot Wheels to hybrids, we've got you covered.
Hey, mailman.
Love those shoes.
Hey, where you going?
Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Bronx will receive the second half kick. Bronx have scored on every first half possession. So we'll set the clock to 12, and we're set to go. Bronx will return and be going from our left to right to start our second half. Got an update from Oakley at a halftime score. Smith Center 60, Oakley 0. Back to return for the Bronx. Armando Salcedo and Ross Ryder. Kick along the ground, recovered by Lakin. Drew Patterson laying on it. 1st and 10 Bronx at their 39-yard line. First and 10 Bronx. Granado split to the near side. Give is to Oldham. Going to get one on the carry. 2nd down and 9. Carry by Beltran to the near side. Brought down by Eric Molina. Going to be just shy of the first down. Going to be 3rd down and 1 after an 8-yard gain. I thought maybe it might be going down a little bit, but that flag's still out there. Not quite straight out, but it's still out there. Oldham off the left side. He's across midfield and will have enough for the Bronc first down. First and 10 Bronx from the Mustang 47-yard line. Salcido in motion. Give is to Oldham. Be brought down at the 40-yard line by Molina. Gain of 6 yards on the play. Brings up 2nd down and 4. Give us to Oldham. Cross the 35 to the 34, enough for a first down. Gain of almost 6 yards on the play. First and 10 Bronx. Driving once again. Salcido in motion. Pitch is to Oldham. And he'll be tripped up this time in the backfield by Julius Trejo. Loss of 5 on the play. Brings up 2nd and 15 for the Bronx. Bronx and Patterson wide, split to the left side. Patterson with a touchdown pass in the first half. Give is to Oldham. Gain of 4 on the play, brings up 3rd and 11. Granado split near side. Beltran hit in the backfield, will fall across the 35, will gain 2 yards on the play. Going to bring up a 4th and 9 for the Bronx. Mustangs that time with a middle blitz. And the Bronx will go for it. 4th and 9 from the Mustang 34-yard line. So 4th and 9 Bronx. Ryder in motion. And the Mustangs jump. So a more manageable 4th down play now, 4th and 4 Now the ball at the Mustang 29-yard line. Ryder in motion. Pitches to Oldham. Cut it back into the inside, but he's going to be short of the first down. And the Mustangs will take over 1st and 10. On their 29-yard line. So really the first victory by the Mustang defense tonight, holding the Broncs taking over on downs on their first possession of the second half. Broncs scoring on all 5 first half possessions. High formation Mustangs. Brian Ramirez off the left side, met immediately, but will fall forward for a couple. Jayton Hash on the stop for the Broncs. Gain of 3 yards on the play brings up 2nd down and 7. 5.5 to go in our third quarter. Mercado from the gun. And we'll keep it now. Pitch at the last second. Brian Ramirez with the carry. He's going to be stopped shy of the first down. That'll bring up a 3rd and short after a gain of 6. 3rd and 1 from the 37. From the I formation. Give is to Ramirez. And he's going to be stopped. He's actually going to lose maybe a yard on the play. Ross Ryder in there. I think Jayton Hash in there as well. So a loss of 2 brings up 4th and 3 for the Mustangs. Big 4th down play for the Bronc defense after their offense was held on downs. Chance to give the Bronc offense great field position with a stop here. Let's see what they do. Pitch, and the ball was on the ground. And they're going to say it was a forward pitch, incomplete pass, but doesn't matter as the Broncs take over on downs and start off in great field position from the Mustang 36-yard line. Timeout on the other side. The official tying Coulter's shoe. Oh. Probably one of those situations, didn't want to take the gloves off. Once you get them strapped up, you don't ever want to remove them. Snap was bobbled. Beltran fighting through. He's going to actually gain a couple yards. Looked to me like there was a face mask in the backfield, but hard to tell. White hat was right there, so it must not have been. But kind of looked like it, when they grabbed him, his head went down. So through all of that, Beltran actually gains 5 yards. So 2nd and 5 from the Mustang 31-yard line. Just over 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. Give us to Oldham. Spins off the defender, and he's going to take it in for the score. Oldham would have had enough for the first down on the first defender, but was able to spin off of him and score a 31-yard touchdown run for Coulter Oldham. And the Bronx will go for two, as they have all game. Oh, no, they will. They'll line up and go for they'll kick the extra point. You know, with the wind behind you, might as well. Armando Salcido on for the try. Strong kick right down the middle. And with 2:51 to go in the third quarter, the Bronx now lead it 45-8. Cheerleader and the fans once again with the Lakin High School song. Salcido sets kick once again, has the wind behind him. Ramirez, the deep back, waiting to kick for the Mustangs. Line drive kick, and it's out of bounds. So the Mustangs will have the option to either let the Bronx re-kick it or have it at their 35-yard line, and they place it at the 35, so that's where they'll have it. 1st and 10 for the Mustangs. 2:51 to go in the third. Alex Robles in at defensive back for the Bronx. Maddox Beltran out for the time being, but he's okay. Probably needs a breather. Mercado with the carry near side, tripped up by Robles at the 40-yard line. Mercado with a carry of just over 5 yards, but we'll call it 2nd down and 5. If there are Heights fans watching tonight, I apologize. I'm not calling enough of the numbers for Southwestern Heights, but I just can't see them. Red numbers on black jersey. On the counter, that was Martin Garcia. Going to be brought down for a loss. Eli Bemis on the stop for the Bronx. Also Dane White in on the stop. So a loss of 2 on the play is going to bring up 3rd down and 7 for the Mustang as the clock continues to run at 1:33 to go in the third. Twins right and left once again. From the gun is Mercado. Brian Ramirez in motion. And the give is off the left side. Hash and Orpiza in on the stop for Lakin. That'll bring up a 4th and 4 from just outside the Mustang 40-yard line. Quarterback under center from the I formation with the Mustangs. Give is up the middle. Ramirez tried to kick it outside, brought down by Timmy Johnson. And the Bronx will take over once again in great field position at the Mustang 38-yard line. 27 seconds to go in the half. And the sticks aren't even set close. They're giving the Bronx a 1st and 8. And now they move them. Hey, you know what? We'll take a 1st and 8. .27 seconds to go. Bronx do have the wind at their back. Give is to Oldham. He'll be brought down inside the 30. Clock continues to run. They're going to say just shy of the 1st down, 2nd down and 1 for Lakin. Down box says 3rd, but it is 1st, and the clock pretty much going to run down. 3, 2, 1, and that's going to do it for our 3rd quarter. Bronx with a score, extending their lead to 45-8. They'll have 2nd and 1 when we return. Our 3rd quarter brought to you by Shelter Insurance.
A lot of action on the street today, huh, Willie?
Yep. Oh, check out the German V8.
Good car.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Ooh, 64 dream car.
At Shelter Insurance, we insure all your favorite rides.
Oh, classic convertible.
And have since 1946.
Sweet pickup. Hiya, Muggsy.
Yo.
From Hot Wheels to hybrids, we've got you covered.
Hey, mailman.
Love those shoes.
Hey, where you going?
Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Our 4th quarter brought to you by Kearney County Community Development. Ralph Goodnight.
Kearney County, a wonderful life opportunity, offers a wide range of opportunities to residents and visitors. Hunting, fishing, camping, golfing, and bowling provide recreation, plus the Lake and Rec Commission provides youth and adult programs in Lakin and Deerfield. Explore the rich history of the county by visiting the Kearney County Historical Museum or the historic sites throughout the county. Take advantage of what Kearney County has to offer. Contact Ralph Goodnight, Kearney County Economic Development, or on the web at www.kearneycountykansas.com.
2nd and 1 for the Bronx, just inside the Mustang 30 as we start the final 12 minutes of this contest. Brett Hendricks with you. Thanks again for joining me tonight. And thanks to Tanner Tarpley on our camera. Oldham spinning off the first offender, trying to spin off the second before he's gang tackled inside the 30-yard line. So 1st and 10 Bronx from the Mustang 17-yard line. Give us to Oldham once again off the right side. Going to be down to around the 10-yard line. Gain of 6 on the play brings up 2nd down and 4. And 2nd down actually and 3 from the Mustang 10-yard line. Alex Robles in at the slot for the Bronx. They send Orpiza wide to the near side. Give us to Oldham. Cuts it back inside. We'll have enough for the first down. First and goal for the Bronx. First and goal looks like from about the 2-yard line. Give to Oldham off the right side. And we'll score once again. So with 10:04 to go in the fourth, the Bronx tack on another one. Now lead at 51-8. And we'll kick the extra point. Salcido to kick, Patterson to hold. And the kick is good. So with 10:04 remaining in the ball game, the Bronx now lead it by the score of 52-8. Our fourth quarter brought to you by Kearney County Community Development. I want to thank all the great sponsors that make Lakin Bronx Sports YouTube, and of course we started out with lakinsports.com with the website, and now we are now live on YouTube. Salcido on to kick it off for the Bronx. We'll start seeing some substitutions, I would imagine, in the final 10 minutes now. Matter of fact, Holder Oldham on the sideline right now. Maddox on the sideline, but I don't know if they're on the kick coverage team anyway. Salcido with the kick. High end over end kick. Hits the ground. The returner was laying on the ground and tried to get up and run with it. That was Brian Ramirez. Ramirez tried to stop, and that's not the first time tonight that he's had his feet go out from under him. So 1st and 10 Mustangs. From right at their 20-yard line. Bronx first team defense looks like still in. Mustangs with the wind at their back for this fourth quarter. Mercado from the gun. Will try the left side. Is going to gain about 2 yards on the play. Now down box barely moved, so 2nd down and 9. Clock running at nearly 9.5 to go. Brian Marino into the ball game. Drew Patterson now taking snaps on the side. So it looks like he's going to take over for Maddox Beltran. Brian Ramirez, the carrier off the left side. Forced down by a host of white shirts. Braden Ensel into the ball game. And Cooper Groff. So Coach Bamberger starting to sub out players. Third down and 7 for the Mustangs. Run off the left side. I believe that was Omar Mercado. Going to be short of the first down. Going to be 4th and about 3 for the Mustangs after that gain of 3 for Mercado. Ross Ryder on the sideline now, so Broncs are filtering in some of the players that don't get to play as much. Good experience for him tonight, getting some varsity action. Mercado under center. Will try to throw, now will run for it, and has open field up the left side. Robles there. Ball is loose. Mercado was able to fall on it. Alex Robles, I bet Mercado wasn't expecting Alex Robles to have the speed to stay up with him, much less running down. But Robles saved a touchdown, but it is 1st and 10 for the Mustangs. .7:41 to go in our game. Broncs lead at 52-8. Give up the middle. Bronc player down. Tackle was made by Xander Luna. Carry is good for a first down. 7:34 remaining. Timeout on the field. And there's actually 2 Broncs down. And one of them is a cramp. They're stretching out. One of the players was Norian Cantu. He's up on his feet. Norian, a good game tonight. I would imagine he may have seen his last action after being shaken up there. Big night offensively once again for the Broncs. Salcido with a touchdown. Ross Ryder with 2 scores. Coulter with 3 scores. Drew Patterson with a touchdown reception. And that was Alex Robles stretching out the cramp. He's back and walking off the field. So 1st and 10 Mustangs from their 27-yard line. And the clock begins to run, under 7.5 to go. Run up the middle. Brian Ramirez cuts it to the outside and will score. And that was Omar Mercado with the carry. And the Mustangs will line up to go for two. Pitch to the far side. It will be an incomplete forward pass. And the attempt fails. Bronx still lead at 52-14. At the conclusion of our game, we'll have the thoughts and recap. We'll visit with the coach and give out our Player of the Game medallion. That medallion sponsored by D-Bach Metals. Once again, activities tomorrow. Lakin Invitational Golf Tournament. Lady Bronx in action. Good luck to Allie and Maya. Lady Bronx Volleyball at the Scott City Invitational. Cross country is off. Rec football on the turf at Lakin tomorrow. Onside kick attempted. I don't know why Coulter picked it up and stepped out of bounds, but oh man, you just let those go. It's not going to go 10 yards. It's going to be your ball right there. The bad thing about it, if he picks it up and they knock it out of his hands, it's their football. So, oh well, no harm, no foul. First and 10 Bronx at the Mustang 46-yard line. 7:13 to go in our contest. Braden Ansel in at wide out for the Bronx. We'll try to pick out, well, yeah, he'll be back. He'll be taking the next play in. Drew Patterson in at quarterback for Lakin. Blair Jones in the backfield. Alex Robles in the backfield. And the give is to Jones off the right side. He's across the 45 to the 43-yard line. So gain of maybe 6 on the play. Excuse me, gain of, looks like a gain of 3. So it's going to be a second down and 7 for the Bronx as the clock runs. 6:45. Once again, I want to thank everybody for joining us here tonight. We're back on the air next Friday as Hoisington comes to town. Give is to Jones. He's going to be close to the first down. And we'll have enough for the first down. Looked to me like the ball was right at the sticks. I'm not going to argue. Reset it and the clock's going to run. Braden Ansel split to the far side. Handoff is again to Blair Jones, fighting through traffic, and he's going to have the first down at the 35-yard line. Blair Jones set up the first Bronx touchdown tonight with an interception, returned it to midfield. Heights player slow getting up, but he's on his way to the sideline. Javier Jaquez able to make it to the sideline. Robles in motion. He'll take the pitch, looking for space, and a flag comes in behind the play. And it's going to be a holding call on the Bronx. Bronx done a lot better job tonight on the holding penalties. There were numerous holding calls last week. Numerous calls by both teams last week. So that's been cleaned up a lot tonight. That'll back the Bronx up to the 35-yard line. Second down and 20. I think that should be first and 20. Scoreboard's got second, but it should be first and 20. Lucas McCombs into the ball game as well, covering that loose ball in the backfield. Another loss of 5 for the Bronx. That'll bring up second and 25. Like I said, the scoreboard's got third. You don't add the down to the penalty. That's how a team gets screwed out of an extra down. Just asked the Bronx years ago against Cimarron. And the clock was stopped, and I didn't start it back up, so we'll run it down. McCombs in motion. Give is to Blair Jones up the middle. Run the clock down. And that'll bring up third. Yeah, sticks won't move. Third and 25. School board has fourth. The down box is trying to wave to the press box that it is still third down. So they'll figure it out when the Bronx get another play after this one. Third and 25 from the Mustang 40-yard line. McCombs in motion. Patterson out in the flat, intended for Jones, falls incomplete. And that'll bring up fourth down for Lakin. So fourth and 25, 4:11 to go on the clock. I don't know what I want to do for player of the game. So many of the plays tonight were by some of the players that have gotten it already. I'd like to try to spread the wealth. And Southwestern Heights on the blitz. The Bronx went with the delayed count. So they're going to get 5 of it back. It'll be fourth and 20 from the Mustang 35-yard line. Four more of those and he'll have the first down. McCombs started in motion, now will reset. And the timeout called by Lakin. Their first of the half. 4th and 20 from just inside the Mustang 35-yard line. Renato runs on late. Bronx with the first team punt team in. First punt of the night for Lakin. Ross Ryder back to punt. Waist high snap. Going to hit and take a Bronx bounce. Great punt. So 1st and 10 from the Mustang 5-yard line for Southwestern Heights on this possession with 4:01 remaining. Nice punt by Ryder into this wind. Wind still blowing out of the south-southeast, 20 to 25. Hasn't really been a problem much. Bronx have scored going into it, scored with it at their back, so hadn't been a problem. Give is to Ramirez off the left side. He'll be brought down by Robles. Timeout on the field. That was a penalty on the defense. It's a 15-yarder. That'll take it out to the Mustang 30-yard line. So I'm gonna say probably a personal foul face mask with the 15-yarder. So 1st and 10 Mustangs at their 30-yard line. Mercado back to throw. Oh my goodness, it is complete. What a completion. Robles went, tried to knock it down, inadvertently kicked it into the air, and it was complete. Wow. Don't know that I've ever seen that before, but unfortunate break for the Mustangs. Unfortunate for the Bronx. Robles went up, and as he was falling to the ground, the ball went off his foot right into the receiver's hand. So 1st and 10 in Bronx territory at the Bronx 42-yard line. Just over 3 minutes to go. Clock is running. Receiver in motion. Mercado will keep it off the left side. Still on his feet, looking for a hole. Across the 30, across the 25, down to about the 21, 22-yard line of the Bronx. First and 10 from the Lakin 22-yard line. I might lean defense on a player of the game tonight. Try to make up my mind. Mercado in the backfield, swarmed under, and will take a loss. Good penetration by the Bronx front four there. Going to be a loss of 2, brings up 2nd and 12. Two minutes to play. Mercado back. Time to pass. And the pass is incomplete. I really couldn't see over there. The receiver went to the ground, but I couldn't see if he had come down with it. 3rd and 12. And the pass is complete to Dresden Zimmerman. Mustangs line up for 2. And try is good. 1:36 remaining. Score now, Lakin 52, Southwestern Heights 22. .136 remaining. Broncs are going to improve to 4-1 on the season. Heights will fall to 1-3. Final from Oakley. Smith Center 68, Oakley 6. Mustangs to kick. Line drive on the ground. Timmy Johnson picks it up and now will down it. So the Broncs will have it 1st and 10, 1:31 remaining. Actually, wind almost seems like it's picking up a little bit more now. I want to thank Tanner on our camera tonight. Thank you very much, but get better with the knee.
I will, I'll try.
I turned your microphone down just because of the wind noise through it, because the wind's blowing through that window pretty good. So that's the reason I turned your microphone down, because the wind noise was bad. Broncs in victory formation. Maddox back in to take the knee. Now 53 seconds to go. Broncs need to break the huddle. The back judge got his hand up. Now he's counting. And that ought to do it. Broncs don't have to run another one. 20 seconds remaining. I don't think they have to snap it. It was under 40. And that's going to do it. Broncs are going to win it as the 10 seconds count down. 5, 4, 3, and so forth. Broncs will win it by the score of 52-22 and improve their record to 4-1 on the season. And with that, our fourth quarter was brought to you by the Kearney County Community Development. We're back after this.
Kearney County, a wonderful life opportunity, offers a wide range of opportunities to residents and visitors. Hunting, fishing, camping, golfing, and bowling provide recreation, plus the Lake and Rec Commission provides youth and adult programs in Lakin and Deerfield. Explore the rich history of the county by visiting the Kearney County Historical Museum or the historic sites throughout the county. Take advantage of what Kearney County has to offer. Contact Ralph Goodnight, Kearney County Economic Development, or on the web at www.kearneycountykansas.com.
Oh, this stupid man.
When it's time to do that welding, don't do it yourself and make a mess out of it. Call Hendricks Professional Welding Service in Lakin. On the farm, on the ranch, or at your place, or at Hendricks Welding 3 miles west of Lakin. Welding done right the professional way. Call Brad Hendricks at Hendricks Welding at 355-6734. That's Hendricks Welding. Don't do it yourself and make a mess. Just call old Brad.
Bronx win it by the score of 52-22 and improve their record to 3-1 with the win here on the road over Southwestern Heights. Post-game thoughts and recap brought to you by Hendricks Welding, and we're going to be waiting for Coach Bamberger to come up and visit with us. Bronx in the end zone with their post-game huddle, and now I get that dubious chore of picking a player of the game. A lot of players did a lot of good things tonight. But like I said, I think I might lean defense here tonight on that. Real quick, while I have a minute here, good luck to and congratulations tomorrow to Ryan Ryder and Hadley Panzer getting married tomorrow afternoon in Manhattan. So for all of those traveling, safe travels, and be safe. Congratulations to Ryan and Hadley. Crowd still kind of hanging around. Of course, they want to talk to the players before they leave, and like I said, we'll get a chance to talk to Coach Bamberger and call our player of the game. I'm not quite sure who I want to give it to. Always a hard decision because there's so many that do so many good things, and of course, like I said, a lot of the players tonight have already won the player of the game, so I like to spread the wealth. And I do want to thank D-Bach Metals, Dwayne Bachman, for these medallions. I know the kids love them. Once again, I want to thank Tanner Tarpley on our camera tonight, and wish him well on his doctor's appointment on Monday to get his knee checked. Hopefully just a sprain. Get him back out on the field in a week or two. They broke the huddle, and I'm going to, sorry about that, I'm going to start shutting a few things down, so when we're done here, I can throw it all in the bag and head north. Let the wind push me home. But a good night for the Bronx, winning at 52-22. And for the 8th consecutive year, keep the golden saddle. And that's what they're doing right now, taking a picture with it. Bus is fired up back behind us. You can hear it in the background. Wish I was getting on it and I wouldn't have to drive. The coach making his way up here. I think he was on his way here. Ross Ryder a big game, Coulter a big game, Maddox a big game. Armando Salcido scoring tonight. Drew Patterson scoring on a touchdown pass. Timmy Johnson doing a good job on defense tonight. Norian Cantu on defense. Jayton Hash on defense. Great job tonight. So, coach still trying to get up this way. Bronx and their families and friends down on the track now. Get coach up here. And then we'll call it a night from here at Southwestern Heights. Actually, they're going to have to move that bus or I'm going to be hiring a kite. Or passed out, one of the two. That wind's blowing that exhaust right through. Yeah, coach now walking up the ramp now, so we'll get a chance to talk to him, wrap this up, and we will get to go home. But no, we're still on. I'm not letting you off that easy.
I didn't know. It looked like you were packing up.
Yeah, you were looking out there stalling, thinking, okay, he'll eventually start packing. I don't have to go up.
No.
Congratulations, nice win tonight here on the road. And one of the things tonight, I made the comment in the second half, definitely didn't have all the penalties that took the flow of a football game away. But Bronx, I tell you what, their offense is about as efficient as you could ask for with an offense tonight.
Yeah, I think that's a key for us any week is just staying on schedule. I know we talked about that early, but they did some stuff pressure-wise with their linebackers that they did hit a couple. When they're going to send the blitzes in the A and B gap like that, they will hit a couple every once in a while. But hopefully they guess wrong a few times, and then we balance the yards back out for us.
The Bronx in the first half scored on all 5 possessions, but I got to tip the hat to you. Great call at the end of the first quarter. The clock's running down. You make them punt it into the wind, and the pass over the top. And really, it's one of those you couldn't have drew it up any better because you want to call the timeout, make them punt into the wind. But that was a great, what do you call it? whatever of events there.
Sure.
But that was great to end that first quarter in that fashion.
It did, and you never know, obviously how it's going to go, but with the win like that and taking a nice short field was something we wanted to do, and then obviously Coach Drew dialed up a play action pass later in the first half too that got another quick score up before halftime too. So it was good playing on short field. We didn't want to have to kick into the wind either, so it felt like they were bleeding the clock down trying to get it to quarter and then going to punt with the wind. So we were going to see if we could make them at least try to punt into the wind if they were going to punt.
Yeah, so one of those things that you take credit when it works, and if it didn't, you blame Drew, right?
Sure.
What are you doing? Why don't we just let the clock run?
Our assistant coaches are constantly thinking of scenarios, and they do a really good job. And I know Bryce was really, hey, let's make him punt into this win. So I agreed with him.
But like I said, the offense tonight, Coulter scoring 3 times. Armando had a score. Drew got a touchdown pass tonight. Beautiful pass to Ross Ryder. Ryder scored a couple times. So just efficient on offense. And again, I think the defense stepped up. Some cheap scores by the offense late in the contest, hey, I guess it makes the other team feel good that they get some points off the board. But, as far as the first string defense did a great job for once again.
Yeah, and you know what? Again, I think we've talked about it before. Getting kids in the field. We mixed some personnel around, just trying to get some guys some snaps in some positions that they would have to play if called upon. And I know they were subbing a little bit in the secondary early. Robles got in some snaps early.
Yes.
And then we were moving some guys around, kind of just working some different scenarios, trying to get some guys some game snaps. And that's always important for us down the road because, we always tell these kids you're always one snap away from being on the field and getting, those starter snaps. So anytime we can get those guys some reps to prepare them, we try to take advantage of it.
Well, and we talked about this to start the season. Anytime a second team JV player gets varsity time, there's just so much difference even from the JV game to the varsity game. So any of that experience they get is so valuable. And the thing about it is, more they get to play, the greater the depth you have on your football team.
Yeah, and we've had some injuries the last couple of weeks that have really made it hard for us to field the JV schedule. I know it's going to be, tough here on out with the injuries that we do have, and so obviously wanting to get those guys plenty of opportunities to play if something would happen and we wouldn't be able to play the rest of the JV schedule. So, just something we want to try to do every week.
Tonight, of course, was the annual battle for the Golden Saddle. The Broncs now have won it 8 straight years, and I really have never talked to too many people about it, but I would say by posing for a picture down there, I think this team still takes great pride in it.
I think they do. I don't know if you remember, Brett, but I was that lost the last time that we lost that Golden Saddle, and it was tough. It was and this is just one of those league teams that we play every year, and they always play us tough, and so I do think they take a little bit of pride in that.
Well, the Broncs do improve their record to 4-1, but next week a big opportunity for the Broncs as Hoisington comes to town. And in the state of high school, state of Kansas football, you just name Hoisington and you just all of a sudden, it just goes to a tradition and always a strong football program.
Yeah, Coach Barrett has done a fantastic job with that program up there, and they've got players all over the place. We're going to see some of the better offensive linemen that we've seen all year. They're so sound and so physical up front. So we definitely have our hands full, but, enjoy this one tonight, maybe tomorrow for a little while, and then flush it on Sunday and come to work on Monday.
Looking forward to it, and first ever trip for Hoisington to come to Lakin. Lakin's made a few trips there before, so let them drive that 2.5-3 hours, and maybe they'll be a little tired.
I'm
whatever.
Not mad about that. Maybe they'll have some bus legs for a little while.
It always seems like Lakin gets those trips. It always seems like, but looking forward to it next week. But Coach, enjoy this one tonight. This was fun, and. As always, thanks for taking the time to come up and talk to me. Always enjoy it.
Thanks, Brett. You drive safe on the way home.
We will do it. Take care. Have a good weekend, Coach.
You too. Thank you.
Bronc head coach Chris Bamberger. Once again, the Broncs improved to 4-1 tonight with a 52-22 win over Southwestern Heights. If you'll hold up, Coach, I do have a medallion. And I don't really know who to pick, but I'm going to pick some defense early. And one of them I just called a lot early in the game. I'm going to give it to a defensive lineman, but Norian can too. I thought he started out well, and there was a host of others too, but we've got 4 more games to spread it out. So if you'll give that to Norian, I appreciate it. Thank you, Coach. Well, that's going to wrap it up from here at Southwestern Heights. I want to thank Tanner Tarpley running our camera again tonight for us. Good job. And thanks to JD Ham, our tech support, makes the ads and ins and outs, and all the great sponsors and supporters of what we do here at LakinSports.com. And so that's it. We're out of here. Everybody have a great weekend. Best of luck to the Lady Bronc golf team tomorrow at their home invitational. The Lady Bronc volleyball team on the road to Scott City, best of luck. And to everybody that's in action before we're on the air next Friday, good luck to you. We're on the air next Friday. Kickoff 7 o'clock, pregame 6:30 as the Cardinals of Hoisington come to town. Join Jared and I. We'll bring all the action for you next Friday night. Until then, God bless, take care, stay safe. We'll see you next week.